Hi. Uh, Today in this session we will go some we'll do some stock related entries. Not because we have finished all the accountings, but to get the overall idea. We will do some stock related things, and then come back to accounts in later advanced accounting things. So we have discussed invoicing, purchase invoicing, and sales invoicing and all. Let's see. In that At that time we have discussed how when you are doing a purchase, after that, I mean a purchase or a sale, after that you are making a purchase receipt either or delivery note. The problem is many of our students, when they were discussing, they always say, think about a shop that immediately you sell and your stock reduced, or immediately you buy, your stock increases. In companies, it's not happening like that. Actually, we have modules in ERPNext, POS modules. So in the POS modules, we have that provision that this, when you are selling, immediately stock reduced, or when you are buying, immediately stock increase. Also, in the normal system also, there is option that the stock will be immediately affected. There is option like that, but normally companies don't work like that. Normally, for the companies, there are offices, and there are stores, and there are godowns, etc. Now, normally any companies here in Dubai or in Riyadh or in Doha, offices and stores are totally different areas. So you actually print invoice here in office. So if it's a purchase invoice, the items come in the godown in a later hour or next day or after a week or something like that. And if you are making an invoice for sale, we will make a delivery note later. So this normally it happens two different times. Invoice happens in one place, another time, and delivery happens or purchase receipts happens another time. So this is very important to understand when we are discussing this. So as I said, I am just repeating that we have POS module. We will discuss POS module. In that, we will immediately sell and the stock will be reduced. So right now, I am going to make a purchase invoice here. I'm going to make a purchase invoice. Before that, I'll just make. We have made a purchase invoice before, but I'm making one more. We are this time from the same supplier. We are buying something today that is different. From pen, we are making a pencil. We are creating a new item. It's products, and we will just enter 100 pencil we ordered, the rate of 10, and it should come. So it's for 1,000 riyals. We are just making a purchase, and we are saving it. Of course, about this accounting entries we have already discussed. You can go back to our past module, past sessions. You can see that how the accounting entry affecting. We are not discussing that today. In any case, you can see here the accounting ledger of that entry, that is, it's from the creditor, it's going to stock received, that we have discussed. You can go back and see in our, I hope it's on second session or something like that. So there is no ledger entry here, I mean stock ledger entry here, because on the stock nothing happened. I'm going back on the stock, and here you can see something called purchase receipt and a delivery note. Purchase receipts or any receipt happens when you buy, when you purchase, and there is delivery notes. So once we have issued an invoice, we send that copy to the store, and the storekeeper the supplier send it to store directly. They will not send it to the office. So once it's reaching the store, the storekeeper, he has different account. We will come back to the user, multiple user session. So here on the purchase receipts, we just add it from the supplier. They are receiving this pencils, and how many quantity, let's say 10 quantity, rate 10, that's it. And when we need to tell, by default there are stores. In case we have only one store, or we have only one go down, it automatically goes there. But here we have something called warehouse tree or warehouse. So here you can create multiple warehouses there. It's designed like this, but we can have something like a store in Ras Al Khaimah. You have a free port there, so you can put it here. So in this case here you can put it this particular item, because maybe one particular item goes to multiple stores. Let's say if there is a air shipment, it goes to Ras Al Khaimah, and if it's a land shipment, it goes to Jebel Ali. It's like that. But if you want, you can just make it here a warehouse. Where's that? Here, store in rack. We can put it there. We can even put it as a default store, so whenever it's coming, it will go there. So if I save it here, when I submit it, you can see the stock ledger here. A stock ledger is basically, it's like the transaction happening for the items, for the products. Same like in accounts, transaction happens for the money. So here we have it here, the store, which store it's coming on the store in rack, and this is the device, and this is, and there is something called now this is, so it is, you can receive items from the same into multiple stores. So now I'm making a sales in this case. Here actually I'm selling two of that item to a customer, making a customer invoice, a sales invoice to a customer. We have only one customer so far, and I'll just make this pencil 2 quantity, I'm selling it for, let's make some profit out of here. I put it here, and from where we are selling, because as I told you, by default, if you have a store, default store, it will go from there. Otherwise, it will check on. We need to mention it manually. So in any case, we are just saving it. Okay, and submitting. Now you go back to stock, under stock ledger. Stock ledger, it will show all the transaction happened in a particular duration. Have we submitted that? Stock ledger and stock balance. Stock balance, what is the item remaining there? Store in the rack. Let me go back to, okay. Now the item remains same. If you have noticed, when I am doing, the item remains same, the 10. Why it remains same? Because when we were doing this sales invoice, I'll come back to here. On the sales invoice, there is, here you can see there is a field called update stock. You can see it here, update stock. If you tick it here, it will immediately update stock. That means you just sold it and they took the item at the time of invoice. But if you are not doing this, that means some driver or somebody collecting it from a store. So as far as it's not done, here if you look at that, there is no stock entry happened. So what I will do, I will make a on stock, we can see it here. This purchase receipt, it was for the purchase, we have already done that. This is delivery note, we are just delivering it. So delivery note, I take it. Then this customer, for the customer, we are just delivering it here. The pencil, 2 pieces. Actually you can take it, we have discussed that you can take it from here, from the sales order, from the invoice and all. Now we are issuing it. So if you want manually mention from which store you are, because if you have in multiple stores and the driver come to one particular stores, you can put it here which store it is. Our store in this case, rack, Russell Kaima stores, and just save it and submit it. Now you can see it here. If you go to stock ledger, you can see 2 items taken out of store in Russell Kaima. So now if you want, you can go to stock ledger and see here 10 item came to Russell Kaima store and 2 items sold from Russell Kaima stores. Now 10 minus 2, that's 8. So on the balance sheet, stock balance, you can see it here. How much is the quantity pencil? Remaining quantity should be, what's that? Pencil on Russell Kaima stores, maybe some date we have mistake or something like that. I'm just generating the report. types hope. Okay, here in quantity is 10. Here you can see it in quantity. In quantity pencil, this is pencil in quantity 10, quantity out 2, balance quantity 8. This is what it happens, and this is the first line is for pen, and this is for the pencil. So this is the way we get the stock, and we will get by store also, because we can put it here, the store type and the warehouse. You can put multiple warehouse option here on which store we have the items, which store we have not items, like that. So this is the basic 2 entries that we should be very familiar. One is first one is purchase receipt, second one is delivery note. Now if you go to stock entry, there is something called stock entry here. This you can compare with accounting journal entries. From on the first video we have discussed what is journal entry, and that is the basic stuff, the basic things. Here on the stock entry screen we can do that type of things for the stock. See it here on the stock. I'll just put it like material issue, material transfer, repack and everything. Material issue when you are generally issuing an item from the store. Receipt, this may not be related to purchase or something. It can be from one store to other store or something like that. Material transfer from one store to other, we will do it now. Repack, because we have packing systems, we will have 10 items, we club it into a bigger pack, or we open a bigger pack and put 10 item out. And there is material transfer and manufacture. It's a huge topic, we will discuss in another video, but I can tell you, if you have a couple of items, you are making another item out of it, then we will call it manufacture. So that the first raw materials will not be there and the final product will be there, so that will be manufacturing. So now we will do a material transfer. So we have pencils were in the rack store. If you remember correctly, we have pencil in the rack store, and how much quantity we are going to transfer? One quantity we are going to transfer. To where? We are going to transfer this to where is any other one. For example, we have store D, let's say store D, and the quantity 1. If you want to transfer to multiple stores, you can transfer to multiple stores. It's same like journal entry. You can transfer from to multiple places and all. I'm just saving it. So you don't need it like this. So it's just target warehouse. Here itself you can give. This version has some minor changes. So here this is simple now, simpler than before. See it from, this is source warehouse rack and target warehouse store D, and this is pencil. One quantity of pencil we are transferring, and this is value is done. Value is not important here, we are not doing that. We will come back to that later. So now I have done this. You can see it here on the view. There is a stock ledger, -1 on rack store and +1 in the store D. I'll show you full entries in this case. Now there is something, there is an accounting, there will be, when whatever you are doing in the store or the material, there will be an accounting ledger that you can see, that we have explained that. I mean, in case if you have doubt about that, we can clear it on a live session later. So now again we are going back to stock ledger. On the stock ledger, if you generate a report, and here pen and pencil is there, both are there, I will just put here pencil, filter by pencil. Okay, so here only pencil is there. If you look into that, it's interesting. First we made a purchase of 10 pencil and a purchase receipt, and we received that in Ras Al Khaimah store. Then we sold the item from Ras Al Khaimah store, 2 items, and after that we transferred one quantity from Ras Al Khaimah store to store D. Store D, let's say it's in Dubai. Okay, so now if you look at that, this is in each store how much is available. Balance quantity is 7 in Ras Al Khaimah store, 1 in Dubai store, and this after the transaction. I will show you a balance ledger, I mean stock balance. Stock balance, how much we have total, it shows the total. Pencil we have balance quantity 10. Now let me generate a report. Okay, the balance quantity you can see separately, because if you don't refresh, if you don't rebuild, you may get wrong result, because it is there is a calculation happening behind the scenes. So here on the pencil on the Ras Al Khaimah store you have 7, and here on the Dubai store you have 1, and total how much you have 8. This is the basics of stock entry. I will come back and do on the next video. We will do how to manage the batches and the serial numbers. It's very important for medical and other things. So on the next video we will deal stock entry with with batches and serial numbers. Batches is very important for medical and food. Serial number is very important for electronics items and all. So wait for our next video. If you are a subscriber on our YouTube channel, you can get it the update. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will always update you. And you can always send us email at training@erpgulf.com. Thank you.